Hey. Trying to be on time. Thank you, Brittany, for tuning in. I appreciate it. It's gonna be a fun time. Just let a few people get on. Thanks for tuning in. It's been a minute since I've been on anybody's live, so I am a little bit of scared, but the only way you'll be able to do everything is if you just jump on. Joy is about to come in. I'm waiting for a few more people to join, and then we'll get started because we're early, I like to be early. I don't want to waste people's time, and I want to make sure that we just do it right. So I appreciate everybody joining and stopping past my little old me and my channel, getting started. I just thought, this would be a good topic to start with. So I'm gonna bring Miss Joy in, and I'll give her a nice old introduction. So hopefully we can get this together. There she is. There she is. Hey. Hi, Miss Joy. How are you?
Girl, I'm a geriatric millennial.
That part.
Hold. As Tabitha say, hold your mule. Let me lay this against here. I thought I had set up earlier, but I forget it splits the screen like this.
Hey,
Okay.
You're good. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. I am so excited about this channel. Like I said earlier, it was just something I thought a good conversation would be had. A lot of people, they kind of see the outside, they see the sold or the key exchange, but they don't really see what happens, the emotional side, the frustrating side, and in between, the exciting. So.
Yes. All the things that don't go as planned.
that as they say, Instagram versus reality, and unfortunately, you can't do all, you can't show all those pieces. But I thought after having a few instances on my end, I was like, I think we should have a conversation about this. I mean, I haven't seen it. I'm sure maybe it's somebody out there that does talk about it, but because it's a firsthand experience, I thought it would be, just cool to have the conversation with some amazing realtors that I see, making things happen, and even people that I've known for a very long time, such as you. So it's really, I guess a 360 moment. One of those things. So I wanted to just invite everybody. Welcome to Realtor Talk, where I have Miss Joy A. Johnson here. She's an amazing. I want to get a few things out there. So she's an amazing realtor, to be one. She's an entrepreneur. She's a mom boss, and she, just is an amazing teacher. And when I say teacher, I know that she teaches a lot of different avenues of income based, just spiritual, health wise, and just getting yourself together. So I know just being a realtor is just one facet of where Joy comes from. And of course, she's a good friend of mine. So I've known her since maybe like middle school. So I wanted you to have the floor. And it's just really a regular conversation of us going back and forth and talking about what it looks like to be a realtor. We happen to be in the DMV area, so in some aspects it could look similar. Some of it maybe in California or New York, it may be a different, faster pace, slower pace, depending on, the region. But the overall experience, it can be frustrating. It could be a lot of changes that happen just overnight. And that's why I wanted to have this conversation. So I want to just welcome Joy. So Joy, we welcome you.
Thank you.
And and I want you to say a few good things about, yourself, how you, some little, I guess, tidbits, hobbies, and things like that, and then we'll go from there.
Well, I've been an entrepreneur for 16 years. I've been full-time for 13 years. And real estate has actually always been kind of on the back burner or in my life. So my father was into the finance side of mortgages. So I used to always see these really long legal forms. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I was the first kid or the only kid with like a fax machine in their house. Like we had AOL when that first came out. Like I remember we always had to have like techie stuff because he would be faxing documents and all that stuff. So anyway, and sometimes I would sit in the office when they would be doing cold calling. Mm-hmm. So I do remember that element of kind of being around real estate, not really necessarily connecting the dots, but that's kind of part of it. And then actually his brother, my uncle, was a heavy hitter in New York. So I learned that later in life. But hobby-wise, I love tennis. Tennis is my workout, get all of my frustrations out kind of a thing. So I do tennis lessons every week. And so I really enjoy that. Trying to get my little Coco Golf Serena on.
Yeah, I totally get that.
And my other business is beauty. So beauty, I've been in the beauty industry for really the 16 years. That was the start of me being in business for myself, was beauty. So that's my baby. Like that's my first child before my children. And so I love beauty. I love making people feel good. I love it's the power of touch. And so I also like how real estate also gives you that same connection with people, of making them feel good, empowering them, educating them, and then also being transparent about your experiences, and how they can feel like it's okay. Like during the course of my divorce, I lost my house due to foreclosure, and I'm very transparent about that because that was a really challenging time. And there were so many things I could have done had I had been connected with someone that could have told me, you can rent it out and be making some money and go move in with your grandma like I did while you're rebuilding your life, versus me just letting it go. So I do use the mistakes and challenges within my personal life, as opportunity to teach other people, like, look, you could do this. This is how you work it. And so I enjoy real estate. I really enjoy it. But yeah, I'm definitely multi interested, and I think that it's okay to be multifaceted when it comes to your interests as an entrepreneur.
That's amazing. I mean, like you said, is where you have to pull from sometimes when you get in certain spaces. When you're in a transaction, is that you could pull from different experiences. You can pull from other people's experiences. It doesn't have to technically be your experience, but it's there. It's something for you to pull. I mean, in most cases, most people give you permission if it's like, if it's not so personal. But in some cases, you've been able to, in your case, because you do offer so many different facets of business and or experiences, you can bring that personal touch, that customer service piece, that if I was in your position, what does that look like? What, I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt to wear experience. And as a realtor, you have to have that component. It's not a if it or it's an option. I don't think it's really an option. You have to be a really a good, any type of realtor. You don't have to be, even if you weren't, that wasn't your main goal and you said, oh, I'm really about this money or whatever the case may be, it still has to weigh in the decisions and making sure that you're putting your clients first. How has that shown up when there's a difficult decision where you had to either deliver bad news, or how do you take that into consideration when you're ready? I mean, unfortunately, things do happen. How do you show up there?
I always try to give, the options of what a person has, because I mean, luckily we're dealing with adults, so they've lived at least somewhat length of life to know, that things don't always work out the way that you want them to. And so I feel like for me, it's my job to give you what the facts are and then what your options are. So, this is where we are, whatever the challenge may be. This isn't what we want, but here are your options. You can do A, you can do B, you can do C. And then I leave it up to the client, ultimately to make their decision. If they are insistent on my opinion, then I will express it to them, but I'll also try to encourage them to ponder and think about ultimately what they, would want to do. But trying to give people with the bad news, or something that doesn't happen in the way that we would hope it to have happen, also giving them what their other options are, so that way it doesn't seem bleak, like they don't have a path forward.
Right, that makes sense, because like you said, and then it's just always more so a split decision, and sometimes it can ponder on it and then think about where they want to go forward and how they want to move forward. But at least, like you said, giving them the option to, and or allowing it to be their decision versus it being something that you push on them. And they can feel more comfortable that, okay, I made the decision. Maybe it's not the right timing, or maybe this is a sign, or whatever the case may be, that they feel like we should, this is the reason I'm making the decision. And as a realtor, and sometimes even if it's personal, they're your friends, or if they're somebody that you know well. How do you show up in that space? How do you try to be transparent? Kitten gloves. How do you show up there with dealing with family?
Well, I pride myself on treating people the same. Like, I literally, if you are someone that I know and you want services from me, whether it's beauty or whether it's real estate, you go through the same process. I need you for real estate. I need you to fill out my intake form. We need to do a consultation to talk about what you filled out, to make sure that what you've typed in that form, I'm digesting and understanding it in the way that you intended. And then also, trying to get a range of, like, I know you said you wanted a patio, but if the home doesn't have a patio, are you willing to work with the home where there's space for a patio? So sometimes that form can't give me that type of backstory or explanation. Yeah. So, but no, I treat everyone the same. I give everyone the same level of service. I mean, I try my hardest to really do it the same, because my intention is to ultimately have you to have the same result, which is getting whatever it is you're trying to get it, whether it's a rental, whether it's selling your home, whether it's buying your home. I'm going to give you the facts as they are. I'm going to present everything as it should be presented. I'm not going to assume, because I know you, that this is how you'll want it. And so I do make a point of treating everyone the same, even when it comes to like, for my experience as an entrepreneur, when clients would come that were my friends to get beauty services from me, I would give them a receipt for this. They're like, girl, I don't need no receipt. You getting a receipt. You buying products from me, I'm going to give it to you in a bag. Oh, I don't need a bag. You're getting a bag. You're getting the same treatment. Because I want my compensation the same. And so I can't expect to treat you differently from my end, but then yet I want to be compensated as though, it would be the same as if you were not a friend of mine or something. So I definitely try my hardest to do equal, because then I don't have to worry about switching things up because you're my friend, or switching back because you're my client, because you're just a client or not a friend person per se. Because let me tell you, when something goes wrong, the friendship goes out the window.
The door.
The family goes out the window.
Mm-hmm.
They are looking to you
And like,
to have
what's going on?
right. You didn't tell me this. And
Mm-hmm.
so I don't play that game. The same as in terms of responsiveness. You know, if you're not responding to me, then I haven't forgotten about you, but I just put you in my dormant pile and I keep it moving with the clients that are being engaging and that are wanting me to help and they're ready to move forward. So I don't throw you out the window, but I treat everybody the same. I try my hardest to treat everybody the same. So yeah, that is my biggest thing. I mean, I might take a later phone call from a friend because you're my friend and be like, girl, we can talk about this
That's
tomorrow. But other than that, you know, the
and
same.
so when it comes to like you said that there are sometimes uncomfortable conversations in your years of been in real estate. I think you said you've been in real estate for over
I started in real estate in 2018.
okay.
Yeah. And then I interviewed brokers the beginning of 2019. And then the brokerage I'm with now, I've been with since I started. So
And you've been
2018.
okay, so you've been I would say I guess you kind of answered the question earlier when you why you got in somewhat in real estate because it was in the home already and you kind of it just kind of made sense. What, you know
Yeah.
what was
And
the leading factor in making that decision?
well, plus my kids are getting older, and being in the service industry as a beauty professional, your body breaks down.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't lift up people's legs for pedicures the same as I did when I was younger. You know, I can't turn my body a certain way to do a manicure, or you know, like poor posture or trying to constantly correct my posture, and just the constant sitting, you know, that's not good. As we get older, our metabolisms are not as fast. So if I'm constantly sitting, I'm not moving my body enough. And then plus I didn't want to drown in nail dust.
Mm-hmm.
Like as much as I love beauty and I love the service side of what I did, um, there is an expiration date because my body can't maintain that same level of work
Movement.
that's involved
Mm-hmm.
and that's on me, you know, doing facials and body waxing and all that stuff. I mean, it's a lot of work on my body. So I knew that I needed to have something else that I could do, whether I could walk or not, whether I could,
That
you
part.
know, right, whether, you know, carpal tunnels
Yeah,
gotten
you
in or
can always get
arthritis
an
or
assistant or somebody to help you out. So, hey, you do my
exactly.
showings, I switch some of my commission with you. Keep it
Yep,
moving.
yep. Dictate, you know, I could dictate an email. So it just I just needed something that I knew that, you know, I would have the ability to transition to and would still get a high rate of return to
Yeah.
be able to take care of, you
Mm-hmm.
know, college and helping kids get houses and, you know, helping my children to be established. So it was something that was kind of interesting. And I had some horrible experiences as a tenant in a commercial space with some of my landlords. I had a horrible experience. So that was my push to like, girl, you need to go and get your license so you know
Mm-hmm.
all of what's going on. So
Gotcha.
that really is what pushed it to the forefront
Okay.
with that
And,
experience.
and so, since you mentioned experiences, have you had, as you, I don't know, shouldn't want to mention any names, but since your time that you've been in real estate, have there been any difficulties or, instances where it was, put you in a bad space or made you rethink this? Have you had any of those?
I've had some horrible experiences with agents.
Mm,
Like that's something that makes you go, where were you raised?
okay.
um you know, when people are stressed and, you know, when they didn't get paid the way they thought they was gonna get paid, you can sense it, you can feel it, you can smell it.
Mm-hmm.
Desperation, you know, and then some people are just high strung and that does not work well for me. I don't respond well to people that are constantly like da, 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 we gotta do this right now. It's like, whoa, Tuffy, you know, take 2 steps back, let's breathe. So that's really been my worst experiences because with clients, I can fire them, they can fire me. And one of the first things I say to clients when I first engage with them about hiring me is when we do our consultation, I explain to them how you can get rid of me. I explained that at the very beginning. If you don't want to work with me anymore, it's not a problem. This is how you're able to get out of our contract. I make that very clear at the very beginning, so they're not trying to figure it out in the secret of the night later. I mean, luckily I haven't been fired, but I have no problem. People don't always match and mesh, and I know that, so I'm okay with that. But yeah, other agents have made me go, I'm done with this. Y'all getting on my nerve.
I can
They need to.
I can definitely understand. I've been pretty good with my responses and communication to most of the agents, but like you said, the agents. I mean, some you gotta understand where the client is coming from. They're such a difficult space. They just like some of it more so. Mm-hmm. Some people are like, hey, you know, whatever you say, I'm fine with that. Moving on, you know. And then there are some like, what's going on? What's happening? Why is this happening? I'm like, you know, just like you said, calm down. We'll get you there. We'll get you to the finish line. And so once you're there, then, you know, because that's to be expected. It's a roller coaster of emotions. I'm excited. Yes. I'm happy. I'm not. You know, this happened. This wasn't what I planned. So you definitely have to keep that constant communication open with them. So if you could give any advice to somebody who's considering being a realtor, coming in the real estate world, what would that look like? Or what would that be? Those words?
If there's someone that has the ability to get a sales job even before they get in real estate, you know, like I've been in sales all my life. So I sold cars, I've sold aftermarket stuff for cars, I've been in retail. So I've been in commission only positions for in several times within my life. So I would highly recommend, especially someone young, to get into retail, but more specifically get into sales, like furniture sales or something where if you don't sell it, you don't make money. That would be the best experience in terms of getting an idea of what it is like being in real estate. And then for someone that's already in it and they're like, girl, I ain't doing that, then I would say if you can assist someone, that would be very helpful. If you and that person's personality mesh, that would be someone that would be one bit of advice that I would highly encourage, is to try to be under the tutelage of someone that, you know, seems like they know what they're doing and they're kind and they're willing to share with you what they're doing and how they're doing it and what they need you to do. And that was probably the easiest transition from like a traditional job to going into real estate, is by working under someone, because you're getting a salary, albeit it may not be the greatest, but it's something so that you at least have some income coming in while you're learning the business, especially if you have no sales experience, no experience of what it's like working in commission, or are new to the area, or whatever the reason is. Those would be my two biggest bits of advice, is to try to get into a sales position before, and then if not, to work under someone so that you can learn, you know, how to do things.
Because it can. I think a lot of it's like ever changing. It's, you know, the contracts, the this, the that, the rules, and so if you, like you say, if you're under somebody, they can give you the basics and the foundation, and you can kind of tweak it to your niche, how you want to move forward. So I think that's awesome. So that's amazing. I appreciate your time, Joy. It was such a good time to chat with you. It's always good seeing you, you know, out here doing what the things that you love, like you said, being able to be of assistance to community, whether it be selling a home, whether it be health wise. And then also, you know, seeing you on TV is always good. So tell the people how they can either follow you, invest in, you know, any of the things that you may be working on in the future. So
I would say IG's probably the best. Joy.a.johnson. That kind of, it's my personal page, but it kind of leads you into some of the other things that I do. So yeah, so follow me on there.
Awesome. Okay. It was nice chatting with you.
Likewise.
So if you are interested in more talk like this, we will be hosting another Realtor and Talk next Tuesday, same time, with me and another local young lady from the DMV area. So this is a to be continued conversation, but it's always good to have perspective of what it looks like to be in the real estate world, to be a realtor, and what that looks like on an everyday basis, Instagram versus reality. And on that note, I gotta go. I see you later. Thank you for joining. I appreciate everyone for coming and sitting with us. Have a good rest of your evening and be safe.
Bye.